So like, when was the first time that you made like, outside of like a bottle of Apple Crown, where you made like money?
I guess the first time would be Piranhas.
Oh yeah. So yeah, probably. Yeah. So we were making a lot of waves in our city. And then we got reached out by actually an owner of a bar, kind of a nightclub, to essentially like host every Friday and Saturday there. I guess it would be like, what's
a residency.
Residency.
Oh, yeah.
So we essentially had our own residency, and yeah, it was huge. It was huge. We had it sold out every Friday, Saturday. We were making good money.
Yeah, we were making 5 figures every weekend as college students, So it was pretty nice, and it was consistent, and it had only grew. We were turning people away at the door, that sort of thing, right? So that was really like one of the first things where we were like, oh, we have like momentum. We're really good at marketing. We had different artists performing every weekend, different DJs, so we were providing opportunities then, right? So yeah,
honestly, we had it really lit. I'm not gonna cap with you. If I show you some videos right now, you'd be like, "What in the world?" Like stage diving, a bunch of stuff happening, people performing, everybody in different schools. You know what I mean? To the point where it was almost too lit.
So how do you feel like you guys were able to, like, number one, create that environment where whenever people got there, it was just like level 10?
I think one thing, and this is probably, we'll get into this with even Muzic Money, but I think anytime that you create something that people have been needing that they haven't gotten, it just creates a huge excitement around it, right? In the city that we were at the time, it was Nashville, and it was very like bar, even like country scene. And we created more of like a hip hop EDM crowd, nice. That was for like 18 up that nobody else had. So it was just like, people were like, what in the actual hell? Like, this is actually amazing. Like, why, like, it was almost like a mini festival every Friday and Saturday, Wow. So I think it wasn't too hard because we were throwing the events that we wanted to go to. Like, I wasn't throwing events necessarily to make money, even though like that was the goal, you know what I mean? We weren't like, hey, we're just going to get a DJ to play Taylor Swift all the time because, that's what everybody else was doing. Really.
Yeah, because that's easily what, if you wanted to be profitable in Nashville, it's, simple hack, do something like that. So just anything, we were just serving a gap in the market, I guess.
Yeah, so you identified like a gap in the market. You know how to fulfill that gap because you're basically serving yourself, right? Because you want to throw the party that like you want to go to, et cetera, et cetera. And then when you started taking that residency, Levi, like, what did you learn in the consistency of that? Because like every single week you have the chance to get better at that. Whereas if you throw like a one-time show, you throw a festival, as you say, like once a summer, it's hard to get the reps in, but you have the chance now to like have ownership and put a bit of volume on your reps.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I think it's kind of comes down to planning, right? You're like, not planning one event at a time, because that was really like one of our constraints early on. We'd have like everything invested into renting a venue and booking one artist, right? So then once we were able to go, we're going to be here for 3-4 months, we're like, okay, let's plan out this. And I think, just planning and having the compounding effect of the word traveling, right? Like, it's like, if people are talking about it every weekend, then people are like, oh yeah, it's lit. What are you doing this Friday? Let's go there, So yeah, definitely an easy hack though, was just being at the same place.
Yeah, it's kind of that thing where like people say marketing is senior to sales. Like in a lot of big events we were throwing early on, we had to really pitch it and sell people like, hey man, like it's only $10. They're like, it's $10. And you're like, yeah, come on, man, you got to go. It's going to be really fun. But then, after we were throwing, an event every Friday and Saturday, it got to the point where we didn't even have to do any marketing. Like, we didn't have to post about it. People just showed up and it would be packed out. So yeah, I think that was a big thing with it.
We used to kill it with the short form content though. I'm not going to front.
Oh yeah?
Dude, this guy, we do, we didn't know they were called CTAs at the time, right? But we were doing CTA videos like, yo, what's going on? Click the link in my bio, grab a ticket, right? So like we were doing that. And then I think that kind of like, we realized like, like this is marketing. This is how you get people to, stop scrolling and go and make a purchase, right? Which is what everybody wants to do with short form content. And once we saw those ticket sales rolling in, from Eventbrite at the time, it just, gave that dopamine, kind of like the same thing, like the cash till sound on school.
Bro, I was just thinking about that. Or like, like eBay, like for anyone who used to sell stuff on eBay, it's like that notification would have came through. It's just like electric.
Yes, bro. And ticket sales were the same thing back then. And I feel like, we were just authentic with like how it was growing. We're like, yeah, dude, come on out. We got hundreds of tickets sold. And then once we kind of had that going on, people were like, yo, that's it. That's lit. Let's go.
Yeah, it almost felt like similar to like a digital product.
It
You know
did.
what I mean? Even though it's like an in-person event, it's like, you're selling something online and like, people are buying a sort of a digital product to get into a place. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, we even had, I would even say similar to like a sales team, we had like 50 plus promoters, promoting, posting our flyers and selling tickets for like commission at the time. So like that was cool. We had like a solid group of people who were really cool and influential like within the space that would pop out. They would make sure that they return, you know what I mean? The vibe was right. So yeah, like it was cool. It was definitely cool.
When was the first, what you would consider now, massive name that you started working with?
As far as like booking an artist?
There's quite a few. I guess mine was 21 Savage. I booked 21 Savage for $2,500. So that was my first one. I think betting on him early, he's a huge name now. At the time, he wasn't that big, right? But
yeah,
we had some other huge names that were really huge at the time as well, too. Like, Chris.
Yeah, I booked Kodak pretty early. We also worked with Waka Flocka, and Riff Raff were like, I guess like legendary like college, acts. So
Yes.
we worked with people like that who were fun.
Future and Little Baby, though, were probably like the pinnacle, though. We did an event with them. And that was probably like, we were like, okay, we're on now, Had to like rent a full-size stage and all that, Did it outdoor. It was pretty crazy.
Unbelievable. And is this all still in the context of like the city?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, Nashville was starving.
Yeah.
So you guys let me ask you the question instead of just assuming. Did you start to experience what every entrepreneur who serves a very specific group of people over a long period of time experiences, and that is you become famous in your niche? You feel like you had niche fame among like those people?
We were definitely locally famous for sure,
bro.
It was definitely fun.
What was that like?
It was fun, but I think I probably would have used my leverage a lot different today. Like, today people hit me up and they're like, dude, you're killing it. Like younger people, right? I'm like, cool. Do you want to work with me? You know what I'm saying? And like, I didn't even have that foresight back then, right? I would have used my leverage to try and attract more people to, build a team or something. But it was fun, it probably attracted my wife, So
oh yeah? Is that how you met your wife?
Yeah, it probably paid off in that way at least, so yeah.
The hero's journey was worth it just for that.
Hey, we were at a party last night with Murda Beats and she was like, yeah, I told you I married you because you're a party promoter. We need to go to more parties, so it's fun to talk about.
You've been slacking recently. It's like, you need more parties. Like, bro, this school games thing has been like, the parties have been going down.
She was very happy we won for sure because at least we get to come to Vegas and turn up because of it,
So
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's actually really crazy to think about. We were talking about this last night, but I told him like I hadn't been to a nightclub since like New Year's, where we used to like promote events. We used to be out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now I'm like, man, I'll be working. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like you go through waves as you get older and stuff like that, and you mature. Maybe I like going to events. I like going to networking events and concerts, but I'm not really like big on like nightclubs anymore.
Sure.
Yeah.
So at what point do local artists and beyond start reaching out to you guys and be like, we see that you guys have somehow been able to capture lightning in a bottle and we want some of that?
I think immediately.
ASAP.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah.
And we were responsive too. I mean, like that was the point of it, was to like, to be honest, we would have times we would have a headliner, right? And we'd have 5 artists opening up, right? Where we'd give all of them 15 minutes where they would get, be able to perform in front of a sold out crowd, right? And, we'd start kind of like, deciding which artists we want to kind of curate and help them like roll out music and stuff. So yeah, that was almost immediately, to be honest.
Yeah. I think we were booking acts pretty soon, like who were like locally famous as well, like who were pretty popping and could bring people to the event and sell tickets.
Yeah.
And then I think that attracted other people to be like, hey, wait, can I get on it? Can I get on the show? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. I mean, if you can bring some people, sell some tickets. And, we even charge sometimes people. That was a way of like making money for the event, as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, they got an incredible return on an investment. Thinking back on it, the prices we'd either have them sell tickets or we'd, charge a small fee. And there's a lot of people who kind of like built their initial following off of like performing at our events, to be honest.
So cool.
Yeah, I love it, to be honest. There's actually somebody who's went crazy viral, who we got to open on. Her name's Deja. Yeah. And she has a viral TikTok song though, and we had her on a stage whenever she was a nobody, essentially. So
killer.
Very cool stuff.
So at what point does the business of like managing artists and helping artists with their business, like, does that ever start to like get more important or bigger than the events? Or like walk me through kind of what happened next?
You could go ahead.
I think we at one point I was hoping it would.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping like, oh man, we're going to blow one of these artists up. You know, we're going to like pick a few of them, you know, and then the goal would be to kind of like help one of them, you know, get to the upper echelon. Right. But that being said, I think we realized that we were kind of lacking some frameworks.
Resources.
They were maybe lacking a little bit of the elbow grease or a little bit of the, you know, work ethic that it would have took to actually get to the next level. They were, you know, everybody we worked with was incredible artists, incredible producers, but I don't think they necessarily had the foresight to know what it would actually take to get to the next level. And we had a little bit of it, but we didn't have enough to really like prepare somebody. So like, I think that's kind of what held it back, to be honest, at that time, you know.